Welcome to ThinkTech on OC16, Hawaii's weekly newscast on things that matter to tech and to Hawaii. I'm Duke Oishi.
And I'm Noelani Na'au.
In our show this time, we'll cover the 20th anniversary name change ceremony at the Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies.
The center has changed its name to the Daniel K. Inouye Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies, and lots of high-ranking officials came to give it their blessings.
The center is in a well-kept building on the Diamond Head side of Fort DeRussy, right near Kalakaua Avenue. Although people don't generally notice it, it's a center for international activities and implications.
The center was established by Congress 20 years ago with more than a little help from the senator. After visiting the Marshall Center in Germany, he advocated for a similar center in Hawaii, one that would bring the region's security minds together to share ideas and form relationships in the interest of peace. He introduced a bill to establish the center in 1994, and Bill Clinton signed it that year.
A year later, the center took temporary space at the Waikiki Trade Center and conducted its first course. 23 fellows from 12 nations took part in the 12-week curriculum focused on regional security. The center was off to a great start.
20 years later, the center has evolved to address environmental, defense, socioeconomic, cultural, and political issues through 6 core courses and a myriad workshops on topics ranging from terrorism to international crime to disasters and pandemics.
In the early days, the center was headed by retired Marine General Hank Stackpole. He was very popular and has since been succeeded by an array of other retired military officers. It is now run by retired Air Force General Dan Leaf, who is known to his friends as Fig Leaf.
The faculty is also comprised of retired military officers with non-military experts in diplomacy, global strategy, and security. The students are brought to the U.S. by DoD and housed together in Waikiki. They attend course classes and workshops over a period of several weeks.
Since 1995, the center has had 200 programs and workshops in 24 countries. Recent workshops have focused on helping Laos prepare to assume the ASEAN chairmanship and helping Fiji organize a new national security strategy.
The center is now one of 5 DoD regional centers for security studies in the world. Its mission is to educate, empower, and connect leaders with skills and relationships that will affect positive change in their respective nations and in the region.
The center brings Asia-Pacific security players together to have them learn and discuss mutual security, to empower and connect them in hopes of maintaining regional stability, and to have them become friends and avoid conflict later on down the road.
The center has had remarkable success over the last 2 decades in promoting multilateral collaboration in Asia-Pacific. It has had 10,000 fellows from more than 100 countries. Its education and outreach have helped those countries develop policies for better governance and relationships, even among long-standing rivals.
2015 is a special year for the center. It celebrated its 20th birthday and implemented the long-standing plan to change its name. This came together last week in a ceremony marking those 2 events. So, ThinkTech went down there to film the ceremony. 400 people were there. The house was packed.
And so several of us got together and said it's about time we establish a center where leaders, military, diplomatic, and others can get together, sit around, chat, yes, argue, and discuss matters of common interest, common concerns, disasters, and come up with solutions, and come up with mutual understandings.
And the home hela I ka hiki a Hawaii ine, mai ka ho'okui a ka halawai.
We are also joined by Hawaii elected officials including Mayor of the City and County of Honolulu, Mr. Kirk Caldwell.
The speakers included Navy Admiral Harry Harris, Commander of U.S. Pacific Command, Irene Hirano Inouye, President of the U.S.-Japan Council, retired Air Force General Dan Leaf, Director of the Center, Kelly Magsamen, Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Asian Pacific and Security Affairs, and Ambassador Robert Kaiwai, New Zealand Consul General.
This center simply would not have been born nor thrived without the unflagging support of the Hawaii Congressional Delegation.
The Daniel K. Inouye Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies has served as a strategic epicenter of learning. In the heart of the Pacific Command, the center is a proving ground for global security ideas.
A special recognition is necessary as you rename the center in honor of Senator Daniel K. Inouye, a man who envisioned, supported, and really believed in the mission of this center.
I'm pleased to see that the APCSS renamed as the Daniel K. Inouye Center, honoring the legacy of the late senator who advocated strongly for peace and stability around the world.
The last time that Dan was at the center was in late August 2012, a short 4 months before his passing in late 2012. He was very proud on that day as he participated in the ribbon cutting for the new conference and technology center here.
A few years before his death, Senator Inouye was interviewed by former Congressman Ron Saracen, who was writing an oral history of members of Congress. At the end of the interview, Congressman Saracen asked Senator Inouye how he would like to be remembered, to which Senator Inouye replied, "This may sound foolish, but I just want people to know that I tried my best." Well, we got his best, and what he achieved during his lifetime of service is nothing short of extraordinary. We, the American people, have a debt which can never be repaid, and this renaming ceremony is but one small token of gratitude we give a man to whom we owe so very much. Now, anyone who's lived for an extended period of time in Hawaii knows Senator Inouye's biography. It's probably taught in Hawaii schools before students even learn the multiplication tables. And I'd like to quickly recount some of that biography because what we commemorate today is his life of service. Service to his country, service to his state, and service to his community.
The Centre is a natural partner for New Zealand and one we have played a large part in. Its Asia Pacific location, its effective, inclusive and practical work with major powers, small island developing nations. More recently has undertaken great work with Pacific Island countries on the development of national security strategies. I have many close friends from my time at the Centre, and I see many of you here. There is a genuine sense of ohana and aloha that lives in this place. My experience was a welcoming, respectful, sharing and collaborative one, and Hawaii was the perfect setting for that. Jim's looking at me and hoping I'm not going to sing Kumbaya. It's all right. I strongly believe that your diverse and very talented faculty, some with solid New Zealand connections, is the key. This, coupled with strong and insightful leadership, means the Centre continues to have real-world impact. Encouraging critical analysis in an open and non-hierarchical forum. To be effective, it's not just about the content. I have a Maori proverb, I think, that speaks to the people here and the importance of the Centre. He aha te mea nui o te ao. He tangata, he tangata, he tangata. What is the most important thing in the world? It's the people, the people, the people. There's a Hawaiian expression I particularly like that I think sums up the Centre as well. E hana meka ha'aha. Let us work with humility. Yogi Berra died recently and I'm a big fan. I'm sure many of you are. So I'm going to leave you with one of his many sayings. If you don't know where you're going, you may never get there.
U.S. economic security and people-to-people ties with the region are strong and growing, and the Center is literally on the leading edge of American engagement in the Asia-Pacific. There is no shortage of tangible ways the Center provides value to Washington in support of our interests and regional security interests. DKI APCSS continues to play a key role in maintaining open channels of dialogue to help communicate the principles and values that are essential to regional peace and security. I strongly believe that America's competitive and comparative advantage is our people, our principles, and our ideas. This past May, we called upon the Center to hold a workshop for our ASEAN partners on enhancing maritime domain awareness in Southeast Asia. Secretary Hagel announced this in Shangri-La a couple years ago, and when we're thinking about the perfect place to really begin that dialogue with our partners on maritime security issues, it was clearly APCSS and the network that you have built. This workshop, which came out of the Defense Forum, helped identify areas where the U.S. can strengthen the capacity and capabilities of countries in the region to identify maritime threats. The outcomes of that engagement have helped us increase our understanding of the security complexities in the region and help better adapt our policies to keep the seas of Southeast Asia free and open. And no one has pushed harder to expand the role of the Center than its fearless leader, retired Lieutenant General Dan Leaf, a fighter pilot turned diplomat. Throughout his tenure, FIG has worked tirelessly to expand the reach and influence of the Center, and for that we owe him our sincere gratitude. Under his leadership, DKI APCSS continues to convene workshops on courses on key security issues with an incredibly diverse array of participants, as you saw earlier on the screen. The Center has now hosted over, 9,000 attendees from more than 100 countries, a remarkable example of the convening power of this institution. And this is why APCSS and Senator Inouye are a perfect pairing. Both are known for bringing people together. After Senator Inouye passed away, then Senator Daniel Akaka said, "Every child born in Hawaii will learn of Dan Inouye." Now, with the official renaming of the Daniel K. Inouye Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies, we can help ensure that his name is known throughout the Asia Pacific as well. Thank you very much.
At every turn, I found myself saying, everybody. Everybody does. Nothing is done alone here. When I asked the folks who put so much work into making this great day possible, who should I thank specifically? Most of them said, well, don't thank me, thank my team. Well, I could thank all the teams. But there was one person who several people suggested I recognize, and I'll do that reluctantly because I don't want to single just one person out of our great team. But I think she's emblematic. Deb Castro is a contractor graphics artist, and she created the displays that you'll see honoring Senator Inouye. Well, why is that important? What makes that emblematic? First of all, that really illustrates it's everybody. Staff who sometimes teach, the faculty who sometimes do staff work, our contractors, our interns, our military fellows, our fellows. It takes everybody to do what we do. And so it's about the food. It's also about the place, and I think that's been fully covered, but I just have to emphasize, we could do this nowhere else. Only in Hawaii could we have the impact that we have. For all the reasons you've heard, all the things you know, and all that we feel about this place. And then finally, the progress. Yogi, you know where we're going. There's a sense, almost an obsession with results in our family at APCSS. It's not good enough to talk about it. You've got to do something about it. And we have that sense. We have a sense of accomplishment over the last 20 years, but that only makes us know there's much more to do over the next 20 and beyond. And the people, the place, the progress, all require inspiration. And we draw our inspiration truly from Senator Inouye. His spirit lives in this house, and I can prove it. We're going to have one last video. You're going to see a bunch of pictures of our staff, faculty, participants in a variety of modes. Look at their expressions. It's really one expression. And then look at the last face you see. And it's his expression. Senator Gann's spirit lives in this house, and we're honored to be.
From their comments, it was clear that Asia-Pacific security is as complex as it's ever been, and that the regional security environment is changing all the time. Military spending and opaque military expansion is ongoing among the security players in Asia-Pacific.
Their contested maritime and territorial claims and non-traditional threats, weapons proliferation, piracy, and natural disasters. The center helps the key players manage tensions and collaborate on issues all the way from humanitarian to counterterrorism.
The center provides a gathering place for the region's security players to build collaborative skills, increase their knowledge of security in Asia-Pacific, and come to a shared understanding on solving regional problems.
As the U.S. shifts its focus to the Asia-Pacific region, the role of the center is increasingly more important to U.S. security policy and also to Hawaii. We should understand its mission and appreciate its work. By making Asia-Pacific safe, we also make Hawaii safe.
The center falls within an impressive network of global security organizations and think tanks we have here in Hawaii, which also include Pacific Forum, the East-West Center, and the staff of the U.S. Pacific Command itself.
We need to appreciate the experts who write and speak on Asia-Pacific security. That expertise keeps Hawaii on the map. We should encourage our young people to study these subjects and pursue careers in this area. Those careers will be good for them and for Hawaii.
You can see a movie we did on the center following a tour we took there 2 years ago. Here's the link on YouTube. For further information on the center, see its website, apcsslink.org.
And now, let's take a look at our ThinkTech calendar of events going forward.
ThinkTech broadcasts its talk shows live on the internet from noon to 5 p.m. on weekday afternoons, and then we broadcast our earlier shows all night long. If you missed the show or want to replay or share any show, they're all archived on demand on YouTube.
Visit thinktechhawaii.com for our weekly calendar and our live stream and YouTube links. Or, better yet, sign on to our email list and get the daily docket of our upcoming shows.
ThinkTech has a great new green screen studio at Pioneer Plaza. We invite you to come down, see our studio, and be part of our live audience. Contact Jay at thinktechhawaii.com. Be a part of our civic engagement on ThinkTech.
Go ahead, give us a thumbs up on YouTube, or send us a tweet at ThinkTechHI. We want to know what you're thinking and how you feel about current events and issues affecting Hawaii. We want you to stay in touch with us, and we want to stay in touch with you. Let's think together.
On Tuesday, October 27th, ThinkTech will join with the Anthology Marketing Group to present a program called Hawaii, the State of the Arts, Inspiration for Everyone at the Anthology Theater in Bishop Square.
The program will cover the status and prospects of the arts in Hawaii and will feature Jonathan Parrish of the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra, Simon Crookall of the Hawaii Opera Theater, Pamela Taylor Tong of Ballet Hawaii, Stephen Yost of the Honolulu Museum of Art, Yukio Ozaki of Chaminade University, Donna Blanchard of Kumu Kahua Theater, and Gerard Elmore of the Academy for Creative Media.
Join us and raise your awareness about the critical changes taking place in Hawaii. Be a part of the conversation and sign up to attend on thinktechhawaii.com.
And now, here's this week's ThinkTech commentary.
Aloha, I am Richard Melendez, and this is The Thought Balloon on ThinkTech Hawaii. The Thought Balloon is where I discuss all things related to comic books and graphic novels. Comics are known mostly for superheroes, and in my segments I've also tried to show the other genres and subject matter that can be tackled by this art form. And today is no different. Since it's October and Halloween is almost here, I thought it would be fun to devote this segment, and maybe the next, to some horror comics, a genre that was dominant during the late 1940s and through the 50s, even managing to overtake superheroes in popularity for a while. This week, I bring you Breath of Bones, a tale of the Golem, written by Steve Niles, who is most famous for writing the graphic novel 30 Days of Night, and is illustrated by the award-winning Matt Santoro. The Golem is a creature from Jewish folklore that's usually made from clay and is intended to serve as a guardian, protecting its creator from evil. Instructions on how to create a golem have been found dating as far back as the 12th century, and it's even mentioned once in the Bible, just to give you an idea of the creature's mythic pedigree. Breath of Bones takes place during World War II in a Jewish village in an unnamed European country. The war has yet to descend upon this region, but the village lives in a constant state of dread, knowing that the inevitable may come at any time. The men of the village have long since left to fight in the war, leaving mostly women, children, and the elderly behind, hoping that Nazi boots will never come close. The protagonist, Noah, is our narrator, telling us this tale from his youth. As he comes to terms with the likely death of his own father, he witnesses a British aircraft crashing in a nearby field. Noah's grandfather and the other villagers know that this crash will likely attract the attention of the Nazis. The war is finally upon their doorstep, and they must decide whether to flee for the border, which is 2 days away, or stay in their homes and hope that the danger will pass them by. However, circumstances soon draw the wrath of the Nazis, and with it, the desire for a peaceful resolution. With hope all but lost, Noah's grandfather involves the other residents in a desperate gambit to buy the fleeing villagers time. They're in need of a miracle, and they receive one. Yes, Noah's grandfather creates a golem. And that's not a spoiler. I mean, it's right there on the cover. A golem fighting Nazis. So you pretty much knew this was coming. So yes, Breath of Bones is a fairly straightforward story, and some of the plot points are telegraphed a mile away. But that's not to say that this story is flawed or poorly written. Steve Niles does an excellent job of building up the tension and maintaining this oppressive dread over circumstances beyond the control of the villagers. And while you know that the golem will eventually kick some butt, the creature doesn't make its first appearance until the end of the second act. Niles also manages to include a heartwarming coming-of-age story, one that happens to have elements of horror, as Noah learns what it takes to be strong while also learning to let go. Breath of Bones takes the fantastic and superimposes it over our own brutal history. It's set during a war that's recent enough to still seem familiar in a quaint, peaceful village that's on the verge of confronting the very worst of humanity. And into that mix is set loose a mythic creature from ancient folklore. Inserting a fantastic creature into the familiar can sometimes come across as cheap and gimmicky, diminishing the weight of history or lessening the power of the magical. Breath of Bones manages to avoid this. It maintains a touching sense of humanity amidst the chaos, finding a greater truth within its characters while still providing a sense of wonder. This is a feat that many horror stories fail to accomplish. While fairly straightforward and to the point, Breath of Bones manages to accomplish all of that and make it look deceptively simple. The horror in Breath of Bones is much less about the golem itself, who, true to fashion, is indeed a protector. The true terror here is the war, and the monsters that will soon arrive at the village, wearing uniforms and driving tanks. For all the monsters that we can conjure from our imaginations, the worst are often ourselves and the atrocities we commit upon each other. Breath of Bones is a 3-issue story published by Dark Horse Comics in 2013 and has since been collected into a single volume. Catch it in time for Halloween. Thank you for watching The Thought Balloon on ThinkTech Hawaii. I am Richard Melendez. Until next time.
We'll be right back to wrap up this week's edition of ThinkTech. But first, we want to thank our underwriters.
Okay, Noe, that wraps up this week's edition of ThinkTech. Remember, you can watch ThinkTech on OC16 several times every week. Can't get enough of it. Watch it all day and night, just like Jay Fidel does. For additional times, check out OC16.tv.
For lots more ThinkTech videos and for underwriting and sponsorship opportunities on ThinkTech on OC16, visit thinktechhawaii.com. Be a guest or volunteer, or a producer or intern, and help us reach and have an impact on Hawaii.
Thanks so much for being part of our ThinkTech Ohana and for supporting our open discussion of tech, energy, diversification, and globalism in Hawaii. You can watch this show throughout the week and tune in next Sunday evening for our next important weekly episode. I'm Duke Oishi. Aloha, everyone.
And I'm Noe Na'au. Aloha, everyone.